This Nintendo Direct way outperformed my expectations. What's up, nerds, and welcome to Endgame. I'm Hoops4, and today I'm going to take you through all the biggest announcements at the Nintendo Direct. Some I'm going to go into a lot of depth on, some I'm not, but I'm going to brush over everything at the very least. There were actually quite a good number of big announcements that I really wasn't expecting, and I'm actually really excited for a lot of what Nintendo is showing for their future. Besides, nothing still on the Switch 2. So, let's go and get into this. Let's go ahead and enter gaming.
Enter gaming.
So Nintendo opened their show with the Splatoon 3 DLC, and so that's where I'm going to start. Honestly, this DLC looked good. It's called Side Order, and it looked really solid. I think it was a really smart play from Nintendo to open up with just a really nice, welcome Nintendo property to get the show rolling, and the content looks good. It looks like there's going to be enough intrigue, enough excitement. It looks like it's just going to be a fun time and a welcome part of the Splatoon 3 content. Splatoon was followed up with Mario vs. Donkey Kong, and so this is based on a GBA game that I honestly never even remember, but it was well loved overall, and so I'm excited to give this one a try. It's a nice little puzzle platformer where Mario has to get through the levels that are more puzzle oriented as opposed to like just his straight up platforming of normal. But it looks like a lot of fun, kind of like a Captain Toad's adventure, but in the 2D plane. Overall, it looks like a lot of fun, and I am, for one, look forward to playing it. So now is when things start to slip just a little bit. So then Nintendo gave us more details on the Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and honestly this game looks great. I'm not a big Prince of Persia fan, and honestly not even the biggest fan of like these 2D platformers like this, but it looks like a lot of fun. I'm really happy that Nintendo got this during their Direct to show it off, and I thought it just looked really smooth. It looked like there was a lot of fun combat, looked like the platforming was really solid. Overall, I'm really curious to see how this turns out, considering how the Prince of Persia IP has been in the last few years. I'm really curious to see if this can start to right the ship a little bit more. So then there was Horizon Chase 2, and so I think from what I can gather, this is a little bit more of like a cult classic, or a cult series, I guess, with the Horizon Chase series. But there are some people that swear by these games and say that they are just some of the best racers. I'm not much one for it. Racing games are not really my thing, but it looks solid enough. After this, there was a little bit of a lull, and there was Super Crazy Rhythm Castle, which got a release date reveal, and Spy Anya Operation Memories, which looks like a cute enough game, but definitely not my kind of thing. But then after this, we got more info on Super Mario RPG, and this looks amazing. It looks like there's been a ton of care taken. All of the textures, the music, it's all been updated. It looks amazing. Even some new features. It just looks like a grand old time. It looks like they have really taken care in this remake, and I'm super excited. I have missed out on playing the original in my life, but I am so excited for this. Ever since that first announcement, I've thought about this a good bit, because I am that excited about being able to go back and play one of these fan favorite games that I've just never gotten to. If you are enjoying this video, then please consider subscribing to the channel. Most of my viewers are not subscribed, and it would really help me out a ton. Then we have another Code Recollection, which is going to be a collection of 2 games. One of them was on the DS, and one of them was, I believe, a Wii game that was not released in the States. It was only released in Japan. So, for us Americans, we will finally get the chance to play these games here natively. But it looks fine. It looks interesting. I've heard that these games are kind of hidden gems, like they just never got the love that they should have, at least the first one on the DS, but that it's a really solid time. After that, we got Princess Peach Showtime, which I'm still not entirely sure what this game really is, but it looks interesting. Today we got way more than we did when they first revealed it, and it looks like a lot of fun. Like these transformations that Peach can do, there's several that they showed off. So what I'm imagining is that there's going to be different shows that Peach can go into, and there's going to be a certain transformation for that show. So sort of like Mario's 8 Worlds, where they'll have a theme or whatever. I'm imagining something like that, where each show will have a theme, and Peach will be able to transform a certain way to save that show. I'm not sure if I'm on the right track with that, but those are my thoughts thus far. But I'm really intrigued, and I'm really curious to see what the community has to say about this one especially. Up next, we got Saga Emerald Beyond, which is not my kind of game, but it looked fine enough, and Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered, starring, of course, Lara Croft. And these looked great. They looked like really solid remasters. Nothing crazy, just like updated textures and that kind of thing, so you don't have triangle faces on your models. But they actually left in the option so that you can go back and forth between updated textures and updated models or not. Which I think is pretty funny that you can just go flip a switch and be back to triangle head. But overall, they look like really solid games. I'm excited to be able to go back to these old classics. Detective Pikachu Returns looks like a grand old time in the Pokemon universe. We got some nice new reveals, like how you can use other Pokemon to help you along your adventure. Like you can see Pikachu riding Growlithe around. We got a little more idea as to what the story will revolve around, and how some of the other mechanics of the game will work. Overall, looks like a fine game. It looks like it's probably tailored towards a younger audience still, but it is Pokemon. There's going to be something in it for everyone, and it's probably going to be pretty entertaining. I imagine there's a solid sense of humor in this, and so on. So I think it's going to be a good time. We just got a little more detail on it today. So we're at the point now that I would call this the low point of the Direct, and honestly this happens a lot just right in the middle of the show. Other than throwing in your big things like right dead middle, you're gonna start getting this kind of fluff that they just want to get out, you know. And not that they're gonna be bad games by any means, but just the things that are less known, less popular. So to start with, to prove my point, we have Trombone Champ, which I don't know who this game is for. I don't know who they are marketing this for, but it looks like a really solid tech demo, and that's about it. I'm not going to spend more time on that. We got Battle Crush, which we got an introduction to trailer for that. War Tales, we got a Contra game, which I'm excited about, and Unicorn Overlord, which actually looked like a lot of fun. Definitely not my kind of game, but I may end up giving that one a try. Then we get into the meat and potatoes. We got Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, which looks fantastic, looks like a great time. The naming convention is a little interesting. I'm not sure why they stuck with the 2 here, but, you know, so be it. And then we got one of the biggest surprises of the show, F-Zero 99. And now this was leaked ahead of time, but it was taken with a grain of salt because, you know, Nintendo, they don't ever say anything about F-Zero. Now all of a sudden we get this Battle Royale style F-Zero game. It looks awesome. It's already out. I plan on giving it a try. And I'm really, really happy about this, that they haven't totally forgotten about F-Zero for once. So I am a pretty big fan of League of Legends. I played that game for years, and there are 2 nice little side games. Riot Games has finally been putting out more and more games to make it more than just League. So we got Bandle Tale, a League of Legends story, which sort of centers around the Yordles and looks kind of like a farming sim in a way, kind of farming sim light. And we got Song of Nunu, which is going to be a little more platformer, and it just looks like a wonderful little story to see more about the relationship between Nunu and Willump, and I love that. It's such a neat little character design, and I'm glad we're getting a little more look into their backstory. Then we got WarioWare Move It, which could be an unsung hero. The WarioWare games look like they're always a lot of fun. Whether they actually stick the landing, or they're just, you know, a show of gimmicks, is to be seen on this one, but it looks solid enough. They have a lot of features that look like they could be a lot of fun, maybe a nice little party game. I'm curious to see how the whole package comes together with that one. Then we've ended up with a little more fluff before the big heavy-hitting announcements at the end. We got Eiluden Chronicle 100 Heroes. We got Eastward Octopia, which is a DLC announcement trailer. We got Wargrove 2, which kind of reminded me of Advance Wars a little bit. We got Dave the Diver, which actually that one looks really interesting. It's like part Cooking Mama sim, part almost like Dredge, where you have to go out during a certain time. Anyway, looked interesting. Then we got the last wave of Mario Kart 8 content, and that includes new old characters like Diddy Kong. We get Funky Kong, super excited about that. Peachette and Pauline, and some old courses brought back as well. Of course, it's Mario Kart. You can't go wrong. It's fine enough. I'm really curious about when we're going to see more about the next Mario Kart, now that we are at the end of this one's life cycle. We got a new map for Among Us teaser called The Fungal. I was never one that was into Among Us, but it looks fun enough. So we made it all this way to the very end of the show, and then we got the biggest announcement, Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. And man, it looks glorious. Oh, I can't wait for this remake. It looks amazing. I've never been able to play the original. I have a GameCube, but it's just really expensive because it is one of the highest rated GameCube games and one of the most wanted. But this looks amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it in full widescreen HD glory. Looks amazing. I'm super excited. And there you have it. That is all of the games mentioned at the Nintendo Direct for 9/14/23. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then like the video and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comment down below and let me know what you thought of this Direct. I actually enjoyed it. It went above my expectations, but I want to know what you think. I'm Hoops4, this is Endgame, and I'll see you nerds on the next one. Peace. Thank you for watching, right here on Endgame. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content.